What instantly makes a girl hot? A girl I was really into in high school once shamed me for giving her a bad hug as I was leaving her place and made me give her a better one. After that I started to be more thoughtful about how I hug people and make a point of trying to give good hugs. I'm not weird about it, I don't linger or hug overly tightly. Honestly, the fact that I put this much thought into it should have tipped me off that I was on the spectrum at a younger age. Recently I hung out with that same woman who shamed me all those years ago, and she complimented how good of a hug I gave her, and I told her that it was because of that one comment she made to me nearly 15 years ago that I give hugs the way I do. She got a kick out of it. I fell for a girl last weekend who was sweet as can be and also a phenomenal hugger. Right before the last set of the weekend she waded through the crowd, opened my blanket, and gave me hugs that I wish never ended. Now there is 500 miles between us and I have listened to more Billie Eilish than I would like to admit. If it's easygoing and friendly, she's hot. Well then, I'll take my dying hyena laugh elsewhere then. Just kidding. This makes me feel like I'm doing better than I think I am lol. Edit, holy hell yeah I'm still fairly new to Reddit and to come back to 4K upvotes is insane. Not sure how I feel about being known for my dying hyena laugh, but everyone here seems to be in a great mood and liking it, plus I'm meeting other hyenas too. Thank you to everyone for your kind words and the fellow hyenas, geese, witches, and other laugh types for hanging out here. Strength in numbers and all that. And for those of you kind reassuring people, I hope you find a nice crisp $20 bill on the ground in your yard tomorrow. Smile. Unfortunately, this sometimes becomes a problem when guys think you being nice means you wanna date them. Then they get irrationally angry when you don't and claim you led them on and play the friend zone card. Turns out you thought you had a friend when all they wanted was to fuck. Happens far too many times. Then if they are in your friend group they are a dick to you every time they see you. I started dating a girl who would dress in fancy clothes and seemed a little uptight. When I took her home one night, her dad met up with us with their golden retriever. The dog got really happy and started bouncing and it got dirt all over the girl's fancy clothes. The girl just laughed and started playing with the dog. That made her very attractive. Just being herself and not caring about little stuff. My last girlfriend was the first one who I ever felt genuinely wanted me, physically. I know you mean more than that. When we broke up, or to be more accurate, when she broke up with me, part of the reason was because she was no longer physically attracted to me, and it absolutely fucking crushed me. Truth be told, this was about, I don't know, 6 years ago, and I'm still recovering from that. For sure, most of the girls I've dated had issues showing affection. Really, the guys I know also say they wish their partners were more openly interested. Like it's expected for us guys to do that, to plan and pay for dates, to risk rejection, to generally be the mover of the relationship. I know it's why a lot of guys get tired of date nights and generally let things settle into a rut after marriage. For a lot of us a date night isn't just a fun time with our love, it's time spent planning and setting it up. It's the mental and emotional burden that our partner just never has to worry about. Sense of humor, intelligence, being kind to others, like dogs. Edit, pardon my spelling meant like stogs. Edit 2. This took of more than I expected. Thank you strangers. Edit 3, Mother Ducker. Thanks score the awards and stuff. Frown I should stop being on Reddit at night, seeing all my grammar mistakes and wrong spelling. Honestly I know this either sounds like BS or a cliche but I am a total sucker for the people who are totally themselves, honest, kind, and preferably a little weird. My current girlfriend is this way, awkward, a little shy, but very kind and wants to help everyone. Plus, she's a great cook and her dog is adorable as hell too. I've got a winner folks, not to brag, but I love her so much. I don't even know if I addressed the prompt. I just want to tell you people how great she is. She loves life more than social norms and teachings. My wife taught me to care for bees, spiders, and all living life. I wave to the trees that wave at me. She taught me to listen to nature and put my feet in the dirt. She's going through horrible eczema and topical steroid withdrawal. She is still the most beautiful in the world to me. For me, it's a girl who is willing to take charge and isn't afraid of both her masculine and feminine traits. Ironically, I think that's something men should aspire to as well. My partner is very much like that though. Loves camping and getting dirty, doesn't mind cursing like a sailor, but is also an amazing preschool teacher and is tender with individuals who deserve it. That shit is hot as hell. My girl is a 10 based on looks alone. She really is. So hot I kinda ignored her and was a bit of an asshole when we first met because I genuinely thought her coming into my life was some kind of setup and not a random interaction. Funny thing is she was so used to people tripping over themselves to be in her orbit that I was the first guy who kinda checked her in that regard, and it actually won me points in the long run. Lucky for me. What got me though was her insane intelligence. And the fact that she could bust my balls right back in the initial exchange of words that frankly kinda left me stunned. Drop dead gorgeous, yes, but wit that cuts like a knife. She's my best friend, and she loves football. Unfortunately we cheer for rival teams, but it makes for a lot of fun on Sundays. We rag on each other a bit, but it's all love. A year ago we didn't know each other, but now I couldn't imagine life without her. She gives a lot of positive affirmations in terms of stating how I lift her up, but the reality is I'm a much better person because of her. She tames me and calms me down in a way no one ever could simply by existing. I love that woman and I go out of my way to make sure she knows it every single day. Get yourself a girl who makes you want to move mountains every day. If she ain't doing that, then she's not the one. Women are also conditioned to be submissive and are very often undercredited for their accomplishments, so we ought to be a bit more accepting of a woman truly owning her accomplishments. Too often humility is a double-edged sword applied disproportionately to women but not men. Example, sports. I've seen men trash talk other male athletes big time, in soccer, fighting sports, etc. But when I see women being cocky in soccer, they tend to be called out a lot more than the men. Given that backdrop, I encourage women to err on the side of being cocky over being dismissed of, which is the norm, in board meetings, etc. Note, I'm not saying to be cocky. It's a fine line to walk, and I do value humility, but I feel like this advice can easily result in women just being told to stay in their lane as they have been told for millennia. Just my 2 cents. I feel like it's going to be difficult to explain, but when a woman looks at me and smiles, but it's not just a being polite smile, then, when you see her again and she almost seems to stare into you and you don't get the feeling like it's a disgusted thing, man. Rereading this makes me think I really should shoot my shot with this woman. Problem is it's somewhat of a professional setting, but she has no real reason to be professional nice. Everyone with upvotes is just giving nice sounding but dubious answers like kindness. Sure buddy, you get turned on when you see a woman volunteering at a soup kitchen, but everyone under controversial is giving stupid answers like a pretty face and big boobs. No shit. Hot people are hot. Here's a real answer. Being a good dancer, you can look completely unremarkable, not have nice clothes, not know how to do your hair or makeup, and still draw plenty of attention just by knowing how to dance. This probably applies to men too. This is gonna sound insane, but lack of fear. Way more people than you think on a daily basis are running around pretty nervously. Many people are confident as a means to mask fear, but once you learn to recognize that vibe, you can't stop noticing how uncomfortable someone is. If you meet a girl and they're completely fearless and at home, not trying to finesse their environment or people in it at all, when they speak their mind without worry of consequences, it's really hot. You can see someone you'd otherwise have doubts about, and if they have that kind of power, it rockets them from a 6 to a 9 instantly. Being oddly passionate about a really niche hobby. Knew a girl who was oddly interested in mushrooms, as in, She'd drive across state lines to really mountainous areas to go mushroom foraging and would invite me along. She knew all the science and shit that went into finding and identifying them and everything. Seeing that kind of passion about something you know few other people would have any interest in is hot AF to me. I know a girl who is very pretty, like very very pretty, but she doesn't have the nicest body. Dude, this girl has something that makes her incredibly hot. Mind all my male friends agree that she has this thing that makes her super hot. I think it's the capacity to maintain any conversation and being interested in what you explain. That is just mind-blowing. Great personality with at least being cute looking. That is hot to me every time. I like weird/quirky/artsy girls. I married one. I'm not really into the supermodel type unless they have a wicked cool personality. She can't just be physically beautiful is what I'm trying to say. I could be that guy and say big breasts, but really, it's that intelligence, that fire in her eyes. You know she's smarter and wild, she knows she's smarter and wild, and her eyes just kind of draw you in. And when she saves that puppy from getting run over, or perhaps she saves you from getting run over, you know she's worth every moment. Not being afraid to compliment me is probably one of the most attractive things a girl can do. People think I'm scary, on account of the awesome muscles, height and deep voice, and it's nice when someone sees something else, like my eyes, or my beard, or how kind and patient I am. These kinds of threads always bring out the virtue signalers. We all know you're fucking lying when you say shit like, Candace makes her hot, being hot makes you hot, being a bitch doesn't suddenly make you less attractive. People just say it does to look good in public, and then hate fuck awful hot people all the time. You're mostly right. Most of the things in this thread could be said to make a woman more attractive or cute, but not hot. I'd like to point though out there is a sort of circumstantial attractiveness where the more you like someone, the more attractive they appear, and of course, the more you dislike them, the less they appear attractive. This isn't just more attractive as a person but also more physically attractive, or pretty more or less. It also doesn't help that the different attractiveness words such as pretty, sexy, hot, beautiful, gorgeous, etc., all have different connotations. A gap between the two front teeth, not worrying about perfect hair and makeup, not worrying and trying too hard to be sexy, dog, cat hair on her clothes, loving animals is sexy, being passionate about politics, being able to quote the Bible back against pro-life assholes, being a proud feminist, saying I hate men without explanation or apology, not putting up with 1 second of man's bullshit. I honestly look at her body first. If she has a nice body it catches my eye, then her personality comes after. Nice body and pretty face, and she gotta be short. 5'2" is my sweet spot. 5'3" to 5'7" is okay. And booty, I love a nicely shaped lower body. It sounds shallow but I honestly do see the physical first then personality after. Having an actual personality, funny, mature, one that isn't obsessed with Facebook likes or social media in general, kind to others, one that isn't into super expensive weddings and just wants a more smaller and special one, hard worker and has her own dreams that she wants to achieve, open-minded so we can talk about various topics. Find this thread a bit disappointing. Usually Reddit has better answers than this. What about, daring, hilarious, rude, exciting, powerful, confident, not just kind but calling out others who aren't kind enough. Women are more than nice and boobs. Also want to add, having an interest in other people is a beautiful trait and definitely a bonus. But some of these comments sound like an expectation that women will hang on your every word. Good conversation means listening on both sides. It's different for every guy. Bodies. Some like big bums, some like small, some like thin, some like thick, some like tall, some like small. Personality, some like clever girls, some prefer girls they feel will not be able to outsmart them. Some like laughter, some like adventurousness, some like shyness. Looks, some like makeup, some like unmade up, some like dressed, some like jeans. General things we all seem to like: hygiene, kindness, sensitivity, niceness, faithfulness, maturity, emotional control, financial control. So do yourself up. Make sure you are clean and smell nice. Be a nice person. Don't be rude or snobby. Don't be demanding or entitled. Be rational. Craziness is a distinct turn-off. Be friendly. Smiles are very attractive, especially if you seem to mean it. Be genuine. Be honest. Better he finds out you don't like X straight away than you pretend you do, and waste time for both of you. Be who you really are, to attract a person who likes the real you. I feel this question is completely subjective and nearly pointless to ask. The range of answers is limitless. In my 3 relationships it was so varied, it was like the difference between walking, driving and teleporting to work. Sure, all will get you there, but with varying degrees of safety and speed. I had a girlfriend who liked being spoken to intellectually using large words. My ex-wife liked to have shouting matches. I hated this. And my current wife ... Well, a simple look, the right word, a touch, heck, any attention at all, and she lights up like a patch of Vietnamese jungle in the 1960s. A nice walk, swagger, bounce, etc. Basically the same thing as dudes. Confidence expressed as style. I swear, body type, clothing, can all be completely irrelevant in the presence of a sway of a kind, and there's not just one, either. But I won't pretend all walks are equal. There used to be a ministry in England dedicated to cataloguing inappropriate ones. I see a lot of answers that don't take physical appearance into account. Like if the girl was super ugly but attributed the trait you posted, would you find them instantly hot? Maybe for some, but probably not most of these posters. I'll answer realistically, assuming the word hot refers to high level of attraction. I would say a cute face with a slender neck and waist make a girl instantly hot for me. Now over time, if she's a horrible person, I will be turned away. I'm just speaking about the minimum requirement for me to consider them hot. If I am instantly attracted to this person without even thinking about it, that covers the physical aspect. It's just this raw natural attraction, involuntary bodily response, elevated heart rate, staring without noticing, feeling like everything else just fades to the periphery, versus so she looks pretty attractive. As far as personality is considered, for me a girl instantly becomes hot when she shows she is very clever, intelligent, she understands my sense of humor and makes jokes of her own, she comes across as someone I can relate to versus some mystical creature called woman, passion for similar interests, and probably the biggest turn-on is when she shows genuine interest in my life, hobbies, viewpoints, etc. That last point really drives it home for me and makes me feel super valued and appreciated. Also, if I think someone's personality is hot, I am really entertained by talking with them. Doesn't feel like it needs a bunch of effort, concentration, and the time goes by so quickly, think hours passing. A sense of humor is probably the biggest. Being interested in things that aren't traditionally girly or are nerdy like science, history or D&D. She doesn't even have to actively do what I'm interested in. Just listening or paying attention is. Having something she's super into and seeing her get all excited and passionate about it. Being able to actually carry on a conversation. And no? The obvious. A thick ass. I mean, instantly. Her looks. If you're talking instantly, and while that's hella subjective, there is a bar of basic presentation that needs to be hit. That goes for both sexes. Again, if we're talking instantly, but past that, there's a train of other stuff that comes afterwards. Do we get along? Do we mix well? Is she mean? Etc. etc. But if you're talking instantly, it's looks, and you'll get 10 different answers on that one if you ask 10 different people. Big boobs, small boobs, big ass, small ass, strong, slight, tall, short, dark, light. I mean, everyone's got their thing. Best to just look your best, lean into your best features, take care of yourself, be kind and open while still maintaining healthy boundaries, and hope for the best. They voice, I'd cow to describe it, but I'm also very musical and probably autistic in that sense cause I play like 8 instruments and sing. Most importantly is kindness. If someone is sweet and caring, instant hot, I'd say most women aren't. At least the ones I've met. So when one is genuinely kind it really stands out and is super sexy. Unfortunately last I heard from psych studies, men care about kindness in women. But kindness isn't a factor for women when deciding a male mate at all.